It once happened that travelers on a vessel noticed a bird. As he stood in the water, it merely covered his feet and his head knocked against the sky. The onlookers thought the water could not have any depth at that point, and they prepared to take a bath there. A heavenly voice warned them, "A light not here." Once a carpenter's axe slipped from his hand at this spot, and it took it 7 years to touch bottom. The Agata.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Dex where we cover trivia and strategy for a different Pokemon each week. I'm PokeKellz.
And I'm Sky Trainer Alex. This week there's just no getting around it. We are doing a very, very cool legendary Pokemon.
Yeah dude, and I am very, very excited about it. Although I am a little nervous about the pronunciation of his name.
Really?
Yeah, he's so cool and I just don't want to mess it up.
What? Okay, well how about we just count to 3 and then we both say how we think it goes at the same time.
Oh yeah? Okay, 1, 2, 3.
It's Rayquaza!
Well, I feel a little better.
I thought you might. Rayquaza is the sky-high Pokemon from Gen 3. He's the master of the weather trio he's in with Groudon and Kyogre and controls the wind in the air by flying up into the ozone layer. He's been doing this for hundreds of millions of years and only comes down to stop fights between the red guy and the blue guy.
Yep, and since he lives so high up, he doesn't really have much to eat besides vapor and atmospheric particles. Like, literally, you probably couldn't even see him from the ground unless it was nighttime, and even then, you'd probably mistake him for a meteor or something.
One theory about Rayquaza's name is that it's a mix of ray, like a wave or a sunbeam, which originates at a point and extends indefinitely, and quasar, which is basically just a crazy space thing. Kels?
Quasars are extremely distant and super compact celestial objects that give off a truly inconceivable amount of energy, to the point that the light that they emit can be several thousands times brighter than our entire Milky Way galaxy.
Plus, all that radiation has been observed coming from the very center, which leads astronomers to believe that quasars are actually the formation of a supermassive black hole rotating at the center of a young galaxy. And even though this doesn't have much to do with Rayquaza, it somehow makes that Mew song even cooler.
Another inspiration for Rayquaza comes from the Z's. It's a giant sky king bird from Hebrew mythology who's the counterpart to Behemoth, king of the land, and Leviathan, king of the sea. They're all super powerful, the whole Hoenn trio is based on them, and their bodies have weirdly been promised as a feast to the righteous after the rapture.
The Ziz is often depicted like a griffin with wings so big they block out the sun and protect the earth from weather disasters like the southern storms. Rayquaza does basically the exact same thing with his airlock ability, which negates all weather effects. Pretty clean, right?
Right, but Rayquaza doesn't really look like a griffin, which is why we also have to give props to Quetzalcoatl, the green, red, and yellow feathered serpent, who also happens to be one of the most important Aztec gods. It's such an uncanny resemblance that, like, what if his name isn't about quasars so much that it's a mix of Ray for king and Quetzal for feathers?
King Feathers, huh?
Yeah, which coincidentally is exactly what I'm naming the next one that I get in game. But hey!
Hey!
You know what time it is now?
Oh, yeah, ladies and gents, it's time for our Legendaries Only segment, the best one of all. It's the Pokemon creation myth.
Well, like, yes, but...
Etc.
Thank you. So look, Rayquaza got a tight Mega Evolution in Gen 6, and I really want to focus on this because the implications of it ripple through the entire history of the Pokemon world, and it all starts with a tiny little change made to its Pokedex entry for Alpha Sapphire, which changes out the ozone particles it used to eat for meteoroids, which now give it the power to Mega Evolve.
This is important for 2 reasons. 1, it reinforces the idea that there are 2 known Pokemon timelines, one with Mega Evolution and one without. And 2, it's a huge clue to the lore behind the origin of Megastones in the first place.
So check it. Megastones are evolutionary stones that have been irradiated by the power of Xerneas or Yveltal, depending on which version of the game you have, and we know that this irradiation event happened in the form of a huge laser operated by Trainer AZ, an ancient and giant mystery man who I doubt we've seen the last of in the Pokemon games.
In X and Y, we see the laser caused catastrophic damage to the planet and its inhabitants thousands of years prior, but it also shot out into space, which totally reminds me of the Pokedex entry for Deoxys, which says it's basically a space virus on a meteor that underwent a mutation when exposed to a laser beam.
All we're saying is, what if that beam is the same beam that made Megastones? And what if when that beam shattered Deoxys' meteor, it not only left mega-powered meteoroids for Rayquaza to eat, but also rained down more Megastones into the Hoenn region? Wouldn't that actually explain quite a bit?
I mean, yeah! And thanks to the Delta episode, we know that the meteor set to destroy Hoenn no longer appears in the timeline where Trainer AZ did not shoot the laser that created Mega Evolution. But in the Delta timeline, when you fly Mega Rayquaza up to space and break open the meteor, Deoxys is freed in all its glory and you catch it and you save the day. Did I mention a spoiler warning? Oh wait, that game literally came out 2 years ago, so that's on you.
Plus, Mega Rayquaza is extra tight because its body markings literally separate and float off its body, just like it's transcending dimensions. So think about that when you're contemplating Quasars, Aztec gods, Sky Kings, and really good story writing from Game Freak for once. Props to them for making you have to think to find it.
Whoa, that was
Perfect. Absolutely the intention of the developers behind the game. Breaking the freaking case.
a lot. But like, I'm in, dude. Let's get to the bottom of this.
We will, man, but later, because now it's time for a sick VGC 2016 Rayquaza battle strat. So, get hyped.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Pokemon. VGC 2016 has allowed some seriously powerful legendaries into the mix with their new Pick 2 rule this season, which makes Mega Rayquaza pretty much the baddest mixed Mamma Jamma on the scene right now. Not to mention that since it doesn't need a Mega Stone, it's the only Mega that can also use hold items. Start with the Hasty one and super train it in attack and speed.
Obviously, he needs Dragon Ascent to Mega Evolve, but it's also probably going to be your best option for stab, so pair that with Draco Meteor to be able to hit through both physical and special defenses, and then toss Extreme Speed in there too, just in case you need that priority hit in a pinch.
VGC teams are so powerful these days that it would be silly not to put Protect in that last slot, but rather than using something like Leftovers to stay alive, VGC matches are quick enough that items like the Life Orb are more effective here and even a little less risky.
And that's it. Of course, that's not the only way to train a Rayquaza, so as always, here are a few random thoughts.
If you do still feel like you need a little insurance policy, the Focus Sash is another great hold item for this set that just might give you that extra turn you need to scrape out a win.
You can also try running a straight Jolly Nature with the Focus Sash and swap out Draco Meteor for Swords Dance, which, once you get it set up, will enable you to take down almost any opponent through sheer brute force.
And finally, if coverage is more your thing, Dragon Ascent also pairs well with things like Waterfall or Overheat for those pesky Aegislash and Primal Groudons of the world, especially when Waterfall gets that Kyogre Rain boost. Awesome!
And that's it, Rayquaza! Oh, I said it right!
For more legendary episodes and the rest of our exclusive Pokemon creation myth, click here for the full playlist, or for another full hour of timely Dex discussion, click here to listen to the most recent episode of the Dex podcast.
And while you're at it, why not subscribe too, huh? And thanks for watching. I'm PokeKellz.
And I'm Sky Trainer Alex. Tune in next week for another colorful episode of
The Dex.